Hello, everyone, and welcome back. If you're continuing to watch, if this is your first time, welcome. Everyone gets the same welcome. So if you're new and if you're not new, you get the same welcome. Last we talked, peace be with you. Last we spoke with the righteous ones of you. Last we spoke, we talked about the 5 Beja kingdoms, and we talked about the Ottoman presence in Eritrea. Now we're going to talk about Eritrea during the 19th century. So let's get into it. Before anything, I begin in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. I praise and I glorify him as he ought to be praised and glorified. Number 4, Eritrea during the 19th century. Here, Eritrea is not between quotations. The strategic importance of the Red Sea coast around Massawa, also known as Matsawa, was fully appreciated. So the strategic importance of the Red Sea coast around Massawa was fully appreciated by covetous regional and European powers. It still is. They want they haven't mentioned Massawa, but they've mentioned Asab. They want Asab. So it's still this place, the Red Sea coast, is a desired place no matter what the time in history we're in. It was fully appreciated by covetous regional and European powers. The Funj dynasty of the Sudan, 1504 to 1820, whose realm extended to the Barka lowlands of western Eritrea, was replaced by the Egyptians who occupied the entire region of Barka. Bogos. Bogos is Karan. For those of you who don't know, Bogos is I believe the old name of Karan. That's Blaine land, Blaine country. It was occupied mainly by Blaine, if I'm not mistaken, by the Blaine. So that it was called Bogos. That's why you have the Blaine of Bogos. Read that book. You can find it on daberi.org. I think it's org.org. The Blaine of Bogos. B-L-I-N of Bogos. B-O-G-O-S. The Blaine of Bogos by Michael Gaber, who was a good friend of Walde Jesus, Mr. Walde Jesus Ammar. Michael Gaber made a book of the Blaine of Bogos. I recommend every Ethiopian, Eritrean to read that. If you're Ago, I recommend you read that book. It's found in PDF form. I don't know, maybe it's out there somewhere in a hard copy, but I'm not sure. In any case, so the Egyptians occupied, so the land which was occupied by the Funj dynasty of the Sudan, which extended to the Barka lowlands of western Eritrea, was replaced by the Egyptians who occupied the entire region of Barka, Bogos, Karan, and Massawa between 1823 and 1872. So the Egyptians took control of that. The opening of the Suez Canal gave impetus to the scramble in the region, with Italy buying land at Asab on the Red Sea coast in 1869, and encouraged by the British, who wanted them to counter the French at Djibouti. The Italians took Massawa from the Egyptians in 1885. It must be noted that the Ottomans took Massawa from the Arabs, who were established at the Dahlak archipelago since about 800 AD. See Trimmingham. This is written in the footnotes by Mr. Walde Jesus. So Walde Jesus, to me, he is a doctor. The man is a genius. He's an intelligent man. The way that he organized and wrote this text is and what he wrote in this text is just, it's amazing to me. I enjoy it. This is my second time reading this, and I love it. I don't love the sadness. I love the literature. So the Italians bought land at Asab on the Red Sea coast in 1869, and encouraged by the British, who wanted them to counter the French at Djibouti, the Italians took Massawa from the Egyptians in 1885. It must be noted that the Ottomans took Massawa from the Arabs, who were established at the Dahlak archipelago since about 800 AD. Probably the Umayyads or the Abbasids, one of those two groups, likely the Abbasids. You can find that in Trimingham. Trimingham mentions that. He mentions it as well. What Italy consolidated and called the Italian colony of Eritrea on New Year's Day of 1890 consisted of the following regions. So what Italy got consisted of the following regions. Let's take a look at what they were. So Dahlak was under the Arabs until 800 AD. That's yeah, interesting. Trimingham, yeah, go to Trimingham. Trimingham mentions this. He's used as a source here. So when Italy consolidated and called the Italian colony of Eritrea on New Year's Day of 1890 consisted of the following regions. What Italy consolidated and called the Italian colony of Eritrea consisted of the following regions. A, the Midri Bahri, land of the sea, or Marab Malash, was inhabited by the Tigrinya-speaking, mainly Coptic, Christians of the plateau districts of Hamasien, Saraya, and Aklogzai, which were not always ruled by one chieftain. The rebellious land of the Bahri Nagasis was a cultural extension of Tigray, to whose warlords it never succumbed. I get called a Tigrayan in one of my videos, and I'm not Tigrayan. If I was, I would be honored to be one. Why not? I'd be honored to be from wherever I would be. God puts me on this earth. But the Eritrean, I don't know. I'm sure he's Higdef. I don't know from what group he is. But if he's Tigrinya, then the Tigrayans are his family members that he hates. That's the difference in my understanding between Afar. They do have political issues I've seen between because of Abiy Ahmed. But Isaias is trying to divide them. But the Afar don't have these issues. Just attacking, just over baseless things. So it was a cultural extension of Tigray, to whose warlords it never succumbed without fierce resistance. They would always resist them, the Tigrinya of the Eritrean side. The Saho-speaking communities of Aklagzai and its eastern slopes, most of whom are Muslims, and the Jabartis also belong to this region. So the Saho and Jabartis also belong to this region. Now, there's a footnote. Coptic, after Coptic. The Aksumite and later the Abyssinian church was since the 4th century, since King Izana converted to Christianity, because that's when he converted, Izana, in the 4th century, not before that. It was linked to the Coptic Egyptian Church of Alexandria. That's where my parents met. It was linked to the Coptic Church of Alexandria. After some interruption due to the rise of Islam, the link with Alexandria was resumed in the 14th century. All of the Ethiopian church's bishops were appointed by Alexandria until 1951. This link no more exists, but the term Coptic is still in frequent use because the Coptics are known to be from Egypt, but it's still in use. So they had to, so even then, so you see, in one way or another, they're connected to Arabs. The Orthodox. Either you're connected to them through ethnicity, or you're connected to them through the church. For centuries, connected to them, the church, the Arab, they were Arabs, at that time, they were Arabs, the Coptic church, they were the ones appointing Orthodox clergymen. B, so A is Midri Bahri. B, the Barka lowlands, where the Tigray-speaking Bani Amir tribesmen dominate, was under the influence and sometimes the hegemony of the Funj kingdom at Sannar, south of today's Khartoum. These Islamized pastoralists, let's see why it says Islamized. Footnote 22, the Bani Amir speak Tigrayit. They speak Tigray, a language derived from Ge'ez, which is also the origin of the Semitic languages of Tigrinya and Amharic. Other ethnic groups in the Barka Gash region include the Kunama, some of them still animists. They don't have a religion that's organized. Animists, I think they believe in like spirits in nature and things like that. They don't have a religion, like an organized religion. Maybe they do, but it's based on like folklore and things like that, in my understanding. Like, worshiping spirits in trees and the land and trees, things like that. So that's my understanding. Some of them still animists, the Kunama. Some of them still animists. The Baria, Nara, and the elite, all are of Nilotic extraction. They're Nilotic. They belong to the Nilotic group of people. So they're Semitic, Hamitic, Nilotic, or Semitic, Cushitic, Nilotic. These Islamized pastoralist nomads had little contact with the people of the Eritrean plateau, except in occasional raids and counter raids for livestock. So their relationship with the plateau, these people from Barka, it was so these pastoralist nomads had little contact with the highlands, with the plateau, except in occasional raids and counter raids for livestock. Okay? C, the Samhar region of Masawa, was under Arab/Islamic influence since the rise of Islam. The Ottoman Turks, represented by their local agents, the Naibs, I believe, gave the area a sort of separate identity. Parts of Karan in the west and the Sahel highlands of today's Eritrea at times fell under Turkish influence and at other times paid tribute to the Funj dynasty of Sudan. D, Dankalia. Dankalia, Eritrea's coastal province extending from the Buri Peninsula south of Masawa to Djibouti, was part of the Sultanate of Ausa, which was never ruled by any outside power until the advent of the Italians. The Eritrean Danakils are part of the Afar ethnic people fragmented between Djibouti, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. Very interesting people. I used to say that the heroes of the Horn of Africa would be the Somalis because of their numbers and their ability. They are able to unite their identity, their common identity, and their power. If they were united, they would save the Horn of Africa. I still hold that view, that Somalis could be a hero if they choose to be. But the Afar are also potential heroes because they're undivided. Same religion, same language, they all work together. When the Eritrean, the first group, if I'm not mistaken, it might be the first group, might not be, but I believe the first group, right after the birth of Eritrea as we know it now, under Isaias Afwerki Rat, after that trash guy, Isaias, became the leader, the Afar already started to taste the bitter, not just them, people started to taste the bitterness of the new government. The Afar formed Resado, Red Sea Afar Democratic Organization. Resado, I believe, was supported by Mallah Zenawi, but they were based, and they still are based, in Ethiopia, in the Afar region, which is their region, their home. It's my house is your house type of thing. It's their region. They'll retreat south to the Afar region. They're Afar. They're all Afar. They were under one sultanate, under one people. They're one people. I believe they had different sultanates here and there as well, but they're one people. Same culture, same everything. Even the Afar and the Somalis, I believe, according to one Somali that I know, who's Ethiopian. He was a very good friend of my grandpa, who was Eritrean. He said that the Afar and Somalis are culturally the same. Culturally, it's just the language, I believe, that's different. So the Afar, and I believe the Afar and the Saho, they can understand each other. I think the Saho, which are the Europe. In any case, so the Afar are united. You see, they're the ones who might just save that place, and they mentioned secession, which why not? I thought if nobody conquered them, what need did they have to become part of this Italian colony? What need was there? Let's be honest. Let's be objective. What need is there for the Afar to be part of a nation state? What will they gain? Any nation state, Ethiopia, Eritrea, why? They live off the land. They've been there for a long time. If they can support themselves and they want to live alone, that's their right if they want to secede. What the EANC, the Eritrean Afar National Congress, what they fight for is an autonomous state in Eritrea. Meaning they want to be part of Eritrea, but as an autonomous Afar region, as an autonomous Dankalia, Red Sea Afar. Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia. You see on their social media pages, they'll include 3 flags: Eritrea, Djibouti, and Ethiopia. I asked one of them, Afar, I mentioned this before, but why don't you guys unite? Oh, colonialism. Why don't you guys were united? Why don't you unite? Colonialism. Don't blame colonialism. So we just might see likely it's going to happen. There being, extrajudicial killings and different kinds of atrocities committed against them on their land. That's indigenous land. You see, in Eritrea, just like Ethiopia, just like anywhere on this planet, there is, anywhere on this planet, really, most places, there is something called indigenous land. This land belongs to someone. The land belongs to someone. I am currently on stolen land. United States of America. This is stolen land. No one is illegal on stolen land, but yet they want to expel foreigners. They want to deport foreigners who are illegal. They want them to leave. Why don't they leave? Why don't those who say to leave, why don't they go back to Europe or wherever they came from? Are they lost? Do they need help? There's Ancestry.com. There's 23andMe. There's ways to figure out your ancestry. You can do a DNA test. Just send them your saliva and they'll figure everything out for you. Send them your spit. Since when did the United States belong to whites? Since they stole the land? Since they provoked a war with Mexico? And that's what I mean, California, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. San Francisco, St. Francis. Los Angeles, the Angels. San Jose, St. Joseph. Santa Rosa, St. Rosa. Rose. California, I don't know what it means. New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Texas, San Antonio. What is going on here? The Guadalupe River. No, the Rio Grande, the Rio Grande. It was the Treaty of Guadalupe, not the River Guadalupe. Guadalupe, I think, is one of the names of Mary, peace and blessings be upon her. So this is, it's indigenous land. That land belongs to the Afar. It's their land. So you see, we go back to the indigenous story because the Afar want their land, but their ways of survival, fishing, salt mining, it's been animal husbandry. The salt mining perhaps and the fishing has been taken over by others. How do they? This is how they know to survive. Do they not have a right to survive in the way that they choose in a world that should be free? Absolutely, they have a right. That's what revolution is. Revolution is gaining your rights. That guy is killing them left and right, and he wants to divide them. He's playing a game. One of them, I believe, defected he went to Eritrea, went back to Ethiopia. According to my views on news, Sajid. Some of you might say, oh, the guy's a liar. I don't think he's a liar. He's just a liar because you want him to be a liar. But he said, on my views on news, that the man defected, and he said he was Afar. The Afar man said that he saw the conditions of the Afar in Eritrea, and he didn't want to have anything to do with that. And he said that Isaias wants to divide the Afar. He wants to separate them. Of course, that's what he's doing. He wants to divide them. This is how he is. The guy is dirty. Dirty. How would you say it? بتقرنيا رسحيو in Tigrinya. رسحتو in Tigrayt. It's I think rasah. Rasah means dirt, but I understand 100% Tigray, but speaking, we never spoke it. Well, yeah, in any case, rasahtu, He's from the Gamama. Gamamat means garbage, Tigray. And Guhaf means garbage in Tigrinya. That's where he belongs. Isaias Afwerki. Let the Higdefs burn. Let them burn. They burn. 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 May you go to hell. So this is what we have to talk about now. Next, on the next talk, we will discuss Eritrea under Italian rule, 1890 to 1941. That will be B. B, Eritrea under Italian rule. A was, and we don't have to go over the letters because it's easy to get lost. If you're listening, it's easy to get lost. If you're reading, it's not different story, of course. But if you're listening, it's easy. A was Eritrea before 1890. Okay, and B is Eritrea under Italian rule, 1890 to 1941. But I'll still use the letters. I don't think you could get lost. We won't get lost. Yeah, we'll be fine, even if you're listening. Yeah, take that back. So in any case, to all the righteous people out there, keep well, be well. I hope you guys are learning something. To those of you who are non-Eritrean and non-Ethiopian and from the outside doing research, pardon my passion. I am against oppression. I am against oppressors. I am against aggression. This is part of my ideology. My religious ideology is to resist oppression towards anyone, anything, anywhere. Anyone, anything, anywhere. Okay? So from the smallest atom to the largest to the largest universe, to the largest galaxy, we don't tolerate oppression. In any case, keep well, be well. I'll see you guys next time. Peace be with the righteous of you. Thanks for watching.